Everyone, and welcome to another video where today we have some super fun oil painting footage from that portrait that I did of Sean like months ago, because I just never uploaded the footage like a smart person. But I've finally come back to this video because I finally have something that I feel like is worthy of being voiceover of my boyfriend, and it is yet another gift for my boyfriend. Because of course it is. So I guess some backstory to this little gift is that I've been talking to him more lately, because of course I have. I mean, I love my boy. My boy is just, he's too good for me, and so I want to talk to him, of course. And we were discussing what sort of things he might specifically want more out of a relationship, and he realized that he really couldn't answer those questions. So last night, or I guess this morning, we were discussing what his ideal date might be, and I brought up the idea of maybe going on like a mini Mississippi road trip to all sorts of fun historical sites and hanging out together for a whole day, taking in history, because we're both big history nerds. And like that one struck him hard apparently, because he gave me the ooh on Discord, and I couldn't help asking him if that was the one, and he said that he thought that one sounded pretty awesome. So I told him that I would write him a story, and here we are 12 hours later, and I have a story to read him, which is what I'm doing. So I suppose without further ado, this is my short story, A Date Filled with History. I think you know, and likely have known, that I am hopeless in my romantic endeavors. I choose to woo my partners with a pure excess of affection in the ways that seem to best fit the situation. Why wouldn't I? It is the way I exist, my simplest form, to be so inclined towards the gentler aspects of love. It's the little things, the casual thoughts, the listening, the worry, the moments of tender joy that we might share with one another. Those tidbits of romantic information are the linchpins in my way of showing love. However, it would be a lie to say that the small things are the only things that come to mind. Sometimes I choose to add them into one and fantasize about adventures that might be shared instead. Small ones, perhaps, or large ones, each with their own type of impact. Recently, the adventure I've found most pressing is one surrounding history. There are many things available to walk up to and ponder or admire in the south of my dear Mississippi home. There are the ruins of long-forgotten plantation homes, ghost towns with little less than a sign or a church to mark their past existence, old battlegrounds, trenches carved in the earth like scars, leftover cannons, old antebellum houses, cemeteries with mossy tombstones, and dusty tombs. There is great loss in the spirits of these places, but history has a habit of being oddly romantic in its existence. How can one not find the past intriguing? So why not come with me for a moment? Let us ride into the waters of my ridiculous imagination and experience together the mess that is a date filled with history. Unfortunate as it may be, our couple's journey will have to start in the early morning. Many of my own adventures into the depths of this state started at that strange twilight time just after the sun rises but before it truly gets light. I find that there is a mysterious, sleepy air about the world at those times. It is suspiciously quiet for it being daylight already, but you get to watch the world waking up around you. If the world had a golden hour, that moment would be it. The sky hangs above our lovers, slowly fading from the pinks, golds, and oranges of early morning to the blues of the day. It is cool for a small time as they wait for the sun to come wandering from beneath the horizon, and the two of them load up into the girl's little truck to begin the journey down to Port Gibson. He cannot drive this truck yet, unfortunately. She has yet to teach him. He can, I suppose, nap his way down the road instead. The truck itself smells old. It's as if the same dust from the air in 1994 still hangs in its little cab, making a point to emphasize its existence to you. It hums as it rumbles down the road, talking to its driver. There are whirs and buzzes and deep guttural sighs that come to the engine to her ears. She pays attention to everyone. Eventually, though, our couple does come to the highway. It's easy enough here to just slip the transmission into fifth and allow the truck to follow its own business. In the meantime, two lonely hands now have a chance to find each other. The drive now is fairly long for the average person. An hour, maybe two if our couple doesn't stop. The plan, however, is to follow the length of Old Port Gibson Road, that being Highway 462, from Raymond down. This road is very interesting, and along it, one with a keen eye, and even those without one, might find many a historic place or artifact. It is without a doubt that the journey down would come with it more than a stop or two to wander the grounds of some obscure location in history. The road itself follows one of the major Union battle paths from the thralls of the American Civil War. That, perhaps, is why the towns you find along it never grew from their antebellum smallness, and why some of them simply faded away. How strange might it be to step now, in times nearing stages of similar unrest, upon the grounds of our assailants marched upon us so many years ago. I imagine that it might be well into the morning by the time our couple manages their way to Old Port Gibson Road. The sun will have risen more fully, and the murk of Mississippi air will have long since become hot. This way, like many ways to older sites in Mississippi's, is rife with trees and growth. It is, of course, a Mississippi back road. It hides in the wilds of our southern country, a piece of history sitting in nature to be watched. There is one thing here that they almost certainly will have to pass and come back to, but other things are found in the small towns of Rocky Springs and Willow. There are churches, strange houses, small historical markers. It is laced with a host of information and a plethora of small opportunities for a moment's quiet to allow our two to enjoy each other. I imagine quite a time they might have, wandering through the woods of Mississippi back roads, hand in hand, to see what is left from a long gone past. With enough time, they will come to their first planned stop, the Grand Gulf Military Park. It's a small park to wander, but beautiful in its own right. There are many things to see here. The park has a small museum at the Welcome Center full of various artifacts found in Port Gibson. But around, outside in the park itself, there is a mite bit of interest. Most prominent, perhaps, is the church that is planted on the hill up the road. With it, on this adventure within an adventure, though, there are a few restored buildings. One sits on the edge of a river itself, a water wheel, and the other houses the leavings of an old vehicle. There is even a cemetery upon which one might wander to view the legacies of the dead. The park itself is small, but it is green. There's an excess of moss and grass and vines that surround and encompass what little historical building there is left to see. Mother Nature has long been working at this place, attempting to take it back. I find myself often most entranced by the spiders that inhabit this park. Perhaps our boy will find himself laughing at his silly little girlfriend giggling at spiders. I suppose we shall have to see. The next stop on the list takes us down historic Rodney Road, towards an old church that is the last of the town from whence it came. The Rodney Presbyterian Church is one of few buildings left in the now ghost town. It is a tall brick building with a peculiar ornament hanging above the middle window, a cannonball. This decoration is what is left over from the Civil War skirmish that destroyed the town. It has been left there deliberately as a part of history. The town was once so big that it was nearly the state capital. How peculiar that something so large can become so small so quickly. Next would be the equally thought-provoking Windsor Ruins. Plantation houses were, and still are, often large, grandiose displays of money and power. They sat at the helm of the South's biggest agricultural achievements and also greatest downfalls. The Windsor Ruins are nothing but the pillars that held up the outermost parts of a once great plantation house. All else was burned to ash during Sherman's march and the Union attack. Strangely, the Windsor Ruins seem like a good place to just stick around. I imagine our couple might stay here for a while in the shade of the surrounding trees and kudzu. Perhaps they just talk and stare up at those great pillars as the sun crawls across the sky. As late afternoon approaches and the sun creeps back down towards the horizon, they will have to leave. There's one last place they'd like to go, and it is the last place for a reason. Back at the head of Old Port Gibson Road, close to Raymond, there is a battle site. It's just a strange marker, a couple lines of cannon sitting oddly in a cornfield. Here marks the Battle of Raymond, sitting quietly in the middle of nowhere. A perfect place to stop, I think, and watch the sunset and the stars arrive. Here, I think, our couple stops and the crazy amount of romanticism that I am known to like really starts. Without an excess of history to ponder and just the sky upon which to look, it is easy for the human heart to swell. This was a deliberate choice by the girl, I think, considering that she brought pillows and blankets for them to use in the bed of her little truck. They make a soft place to lie down together and watch the sun as it falls over the edge of the world in front of them. The night is warm, but they are warmer, she cuddled into his side and he holding her there, and the stars inch over the sky ahead. Here they stay for a long, long time, cuddled together in the chilling air where they could talk alone. The dark is comforting here. I imagine that small kisses and gentle touches would be exchanged. She might squeeze him gently, pressing her face into his chest and pulling one of his hands to her cheek so that she might feel it. Perhaps she might steal herself up and peck at his face, hoping to catch him off guard. Maybe they just lie still together and count the stars in the sky, picking out colors and constellations together in the dark. For as long as he stayed, she would stay too. Eventually, they will have to leave, yes, but for now, there is comfort in their conjoined presence, and they will stay in it.